remember I was invited to a wedding, guys? Man, I hate to say this, Cookie, but women are so much drama. Women are so much drama. So I was basically TLDR. Not only am I now maid of honor, I am the only bridesmaid left. I am the only bridesmaid left of the entire party, Cookie. Yeah, that was disastrous. Remember I was ranting about modern friendships? Yeah. Remember how I was ranting about modern friendships, Cookie? Well, now you know what I was going through. It was a battle royale, Cookie. I won without doing anything. That's the thing. But it's not really winning, and I'll explain why. Cookie. But I'm not gonna go into details, but basically, women things happened. And maid of honor is like a big deal. It's like if somebody asks you to be their maid of honor, it's like kind of like best man, you know? It's the same responsibilities as a best man would have at a wedding, Cookie. It's like, doesn't the best man plan the bachelor party and stuff like that? So the maid of honor also is in charge of the bachelorette party and a lot of expenses that entail that. So if you're maid of honor, you're in charge of the bridal shower, the bachelorette party, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't really keen on those responsibilities. I don't care. I really did not give a single crap about that, Cookie. I felt secure enough in my position to the bride that I didn't need to be maid of honor. You know, I don't want extra responsibilities, Cookie. I don't want that. I'm just happy to be invited at all, right? So I've been busy, you know, I've been really, really, really busy and stuff like that, like with streaming stuff and, you know, work and my real life, because I like to keep myself busy. I have a schedule to attend to, Cookie. I have my Cookie's comments to read. I have a lot going on. I can't just be in there all the time. I don't really speak unless spoken to, you know, Cookie, unless somebody needs my help. So, let's roll this back, right? We were all invited. There was a group of like 6 girls. 7, if me included. If you include me. And, I didn't meet any of these girls. I have no idea who they are. I was invited as a bridesmaid because the bride always had a soft spot for me since we were like 15 years old. And we weren't ever really, really, really close. But we were close enough that we felt, I don't know, emotionally close to each other. How about that, Cookie? Like, the way we always communicated was always very positive. And I always had positive things about her to say. And we weren't really close, but we were really fond of each other. I was just there, I think as filler. I just thought, well, that's fine. It's still an honor to be considered out of all the people that we know. You know, as a maid of honor, as a bridesmaid, I don't really care. There's a bunch of other girls who are in there that I've never met before. I don't mind, you know, I don't mind at all. Yeah, because you know with the bridesmaid, there is like your important friends, which hopefully you have enough friends to fill if you get married, you know, to be your entire like groom party or bride party or whatever, you know. But I felt like she kind of maybe ran out of people and just thought of me and was like, oh, she would make a good bridesmaid. I didn't mind either way. I was just happy to be there and invited. I like going to weddings where I can eat for free, okay? And any excuse I can get to go to Texas, I will go, Cookie. Especially if it's a farm. Especially if you tell me it's on a farm and there's goats to pet, I will be there. Okay, Cookie? I am a simple woman. You tell me there's free food and goats to pet, I will be there. I will be at that wedding, Cookie. I don't care who you are or how many people far we are apart, you know. It's just, I like to eat food and pet animals. I can't lie, Cookie. Alright, anyways. So, I didn't check it for like a couple days, alright? They were like talking about a bunch of stuff. The bride is posting things for the previous maid of honor. to organize, and she doesn't have a lot of requests. The thing is, like, these girls are not very wealthy. They're not very wealthy girls at all. A lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck. I don't judge people for that. That's completely fine. Like, honestly, we don't have to do anything extravagant. I, as a bridesmaid, have no requests whatsoever. I am happy that I am there, invited. If the bride asked me to wear neon poop green, if she chose a neon poop green bridesmaid's dress, I would have worn it. I literally do not give a flying crap. It is not my wedding. I do whatever the bride wants, right? Whatever. But anyways, the bride actually was very considerate of us. She actually asked us what color we wanted to wear. And I said, I don't care, but these are my best colors, Cookie. You know? So she chose like a dusty pink shade, like a mauve shade, which I look really nice in. It's like one of my best colors. I didn't expect her to choose it, but I was very thankful. And the dress only cost me like $50, which I really appreciated, Cookie. I think I got it on sale too for like $35. So as far as bridesmaid dresses go, $35, pretty damn freaking good for a deal. Okay, that's a big deal. That's like for a dress, that's like chump change. Honestly, Cookie. Right? Usually I was expecting to spend hundreds, but it was a steal. It was a steal. And she was really considerate because she knew that not all of us had money and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, everything's going smooth, right? Everything's going smooth. And then, apparently what had happened privately was the bride was talking to the maid of honor, and the maid of honor, the previous maid of honor, was making a bunch of demands. She was making a bunch of demands about what color of the dress she wanted, and like, they were reducing her responsibilities because, again, she wasn't very well off. And I kind of noticed that, and I said to everybody, I'm not well off by any means, but I can afford a couple $30 dresses, okay? Like, if anybody needs a dress and you can't afford it, just DM me. I'll get you your dress. It's fine, okay? I will just buy you your dress. If you need a dress, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just putting out there, if somebody needs help financially to get something, I can pitch in. It's just $30, like, whatever. What's important is we're there for the bride, right? But the bridesmaidzilla, let's call her that, bridesmaidzilla, had a bunch of demands about her dress. And the dress, it's a pretty nice dress. Like, I put on the dress, I like modeled it for the girls, because I got it first. And, luckily, it was very size inclusive, so they had triple XS, which was really nice. Really nice, exact measurements and everything. And they also had, like, triple, like, 4XL, which some people also needed, right? And apparently, I only modeled the dress for them because they asked, right? They were like, can you show us the dress? Because you have it first. And so, I'm like, okay, you know? And then I did a little Instagram, like, twirl, like, a little video of me, like, turning around 360 awkwardly, you know? That ruffled some feathers for some reason. Even though they asked me to do it. I'm like, I think the bride wanted to see it. But some of them were just like, oh, she's just showing off. Because she's so skinny. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Anyways, I ignored that. I was like, not my business. The bride asked me to. So it is what it is, Cookie, right? I was like, whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Literal woman moment, Cookie, right? So I like ignore it, right? I was like, whatever. Most of them were absolutely fine with it. They were like, oh, it looks great. Yeah, it's a nice color. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so I'm like, trouble in paradise. You know what I mean? And then the bride also had like 2 demands. She said she wanted balloons. She wanted balloons spelled out bride. Very easy to do. Pink balloons spelled out bride. Sakura themed for the party. And she wanted to order pizza. And matching cotton pajamas, which cost $15 a pop. And I was like, oh, that's very chill. Like, I could do that, and then I'll just throw in some money for champagne, and it'll be a good time, you know, Cookie? Like, that's all she wanted. That's all she wanted. That sounds reasonable, you know? It's not like she wants all of us to pay our way to, like, the freaking Bahamas or whatever, Cookie, you know what I mean? Very modest. She wants some cotton PJs, some champagne and pizza and some balloons. Like, somebody get the girl her stuff, right? This is easy, very low maintenance request. You know, Cookie? Yeah, so sweet. And then she just wants, cause she's Christian. Like, she's very in her faith. So she just asked us to include that in her, keep that in mind when we're like planning the stuff. I thought it wasn't very unreasonable, but then again, I'm not like maid of honor. So I just answer and give help when needed and asked, okay? I get sick. I get sick. So everything was calm. Nothing was really moving along. The wedding is approaching and nothing was moving along, right? And so I got sick and I got stuck and I finally had time to look at the messages. You know, I didn't look at it for like a week and it's a disaster. There was only like 3 bridesmaids left. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. But there was an entire falling out in the week and I wasn't there, Cookie. And I got a lot of messages from the bride and she was like talking to me about like how difficult it is to plan this, and she's like unfriended the maid of honor and she didn't know what to do and she doesn't understand. And I did that thing where it's like, girl, like I don't just, we'll get it done, you know, it'll be fine. And I'm just like, you know what? I told her basically asking for reciprocal treatment and inconveniencing people that are your friends should be a given, but in the great age of 2026 now, after COVID, friendships are just different. And it's not just her. And I was just calming her down and stuff like that, Cookie. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, well, yeah, now there's 3 of us. We can plan something like small and comfy and maybe a little bit more extravagant because there's more money to use for less people, right, Cookie? But it turns out there's like no money ever put into a pool. There's no money. I'm like, so what was the maid of honor doing? Like, what were we talking about? Like, she didn't ask for much. And, you know what I mean? And I get a little bit. I understand the previous maid of honor, Cookie. I like kind of understand it because if she's broke, she's probably embarrassed about it. And even though I offered to help, I think that really she felt a certain way about it, which is completely fair. And she refused to ask for help, which is fine. But she just didn't communicate anything and it ended up breaking up the friend group. I'm like, and at the end of the day, I was just like, I think she's embarrassed about not having money. And so she didn't want to communicate either though. And then she'd rather just explode the whole friend group than have to tell you that she's not able to pull through with these responsibilities and the financial part of this whole thing. You know, so even though they were fighting, I was like, let's try to like understand a little bit. Like, she'll probably have to attend the wedding anyways. Like, let's just leave it. Like, she's probably figuring some things out, Cookie, right? Like, it's just like, it would be better if she could have communicated, Cookie, you know? Yeah. I don't think it's fair of her at all. Like, I understand you having pride, but like, it's a wedding and it's not your wedding. You know what I mean? So then I thought it was going to be the other friend that was in there that was going to take up the responsibilities, Cookie. But she's in even more financial dire straits, and it turns out she has to drop out of attending the wedding completely. So I was the only one left. So she asked me if I could take over. And I'm like, yeah, but there's only like 2 of us. So what I have elected to do, Cookie, is we're not going to have a party, a big party. She is going to get pajamas. We are going to have matching pajamas. But instead of getting it for the bridesmaids, I'm getting it for her mom as well. And for her hubby. For her to-be hubby. So we can have like a little get-together. I will also treat them to an all expenses-paid spa trip, which will cost me a pretty penny, but you know, whatever. We're gonna get our nails done together, and I'll get a beautiful dinner for everybody. And so, yeah. So that's what I decided to do, Cookie. I feel bad that I'm complaining a little to you guys, because it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun, Cookie, but I'm just really easily affected by stress, you know? Hubby's nails. Her hubby, I think we're just gonna get his nails cleaned for his wedding. Like, you know, have beautiful hands. Yeah. So, it was still unexpected, so I was like thrown off course and dealing with girl drama is not my forte, Cookie. I don't have the gall and gumption for it. So it kind of stressed me out a little bit, Cookie. It stressed me out. So it was a lot. It was a lot. You know, that was lean. Like, yeah, one thing. And another thing is, yeah, I was just dealing with some other personal stuff. So it was just a lot at once. Yeah. So now I'm like out a couple $1,000s. You know, my savings. But you know, you gotta do it. Takes a community. It takes a community, you know, it's, as I said, being friends with people, you lose money, time, and effort. And that's just the truth of it. And it's not a bad thing, but this is what it means to be, like, friends sometimes, you know? Yeah, you lose a combination of all three, Cookie, you know what I mean? So, I've been saving money, though, so I'm good, but I gotta recover from that. Bro, they should name their first child after you. It's crazy, Cookie. Yeah, I'm glad you'll be able to be there for your friend. Thank you, Cookie. I'm admittedly not a really good emotional support for most people, but she is also, how do you say? She's also neurodivergent and she has chronic illness like I do. So we understand how we communicate. It's very comfortable talking to her. Most people, the thing is, if I talk to somebody who's not neurodivergent, Cookie, it's really hard because it's hard to have like a equal back and forth. It's always either I walk out of that conversation without the person knowing a thing about me, because I don't say anything about myself, I just keep asking questions, or I only talk about myself. Nothing in between, Cookie. I'm not good at conversations, and it's really, really obvious. It's just autism though, Cookie. Like, I'm on the spectrum, so it is what it is. But it's pretty comfortable talking to her because we're on the same, like, sort of wavelength. So we, like, surf the conversation waves. They're on the same wavelength, so it works out, Cookie, you know?
My fellow brothers, in the face of our common dangers, in this winter of our hardship, remember these timeless words, as we can.